What you see right here is the culmination of 75 years of JBL audio heritage combined with the expertise of Harman's audio research and 5 years of audio fine-tuning by the well-known audiophile brand AKG. And all of this is backed by Samsung. And these are the JBL Live Pro 2. And I took these on holiday with me to properly test them out. And do you know what? I love them. And before I tell you why, let's talk about all of the upgrades that JBL has made over last year's offering, the JBL Live Pro Plus. Number one, the Bluetooth chip inside has now been upgraded from Bluetooth 5.0 to 5.2, which means we still have multi-point pairing functionality, but now we also have Bluetooth LE. And if you're wondering what that is, well, LE stands for low energy. So that means that these are way more energy efficient, but it also opens the door to new features, which we're going to see in the future. For example, SharePlay, which will allow you to use the Live Pro 2 to relay the audio from the earbuds to another set of earbuds. Think of the ShareMe feature as a modern day version of one of these. And this upgrade also results in the latency being reduced by 50 milliseconds, which means these are better than ever when it comes to movies and gaming. Okay, another big upgrade made this year versus the Live Pro Plus from last year is the playback time. Despite the case and the buds remaining almost identical in size, JBL have leveled up the battery from 28 hours to 40 hours this year. And what makes this even more impressive is the fact that when you turn ANC on the new buds, it still beats the ANC off time on the old buds. And the quick charge functionality has also improved as well, with the previous buds giving you 1 hour playback with 10 minutes charge. The JBL Live Pro 2, however, can get 4 hours from 15 minutes charge. That is speed and power, and you guys know I'm a fan, speed and power. And when it comes to voice call quality, we now have 6 beamforming mics with upgraded performance, and I'll let you guys be the judge of how good these improvements are. Okay, this is a test, 1, 2, 3. No background noise at all. This is the JBL Live Pro Plus from 2021. Okay, now you're hearing the Live Pro 2 with the 6 microphones, more fine-tuned for better performance. How does it sound with no background noise in comparison to last year's model? Let me know. Okay, this is the Live Pro Plus. Again, this time with road noises in the background. How is it sounding now? Okay, this is the same test with the Live Pro 2s with the road noise. How is it handling that ambient noise in the background? And this is the Live Pro Plus now, the most extreme test with the car road noise and wind coming directly at me. Let's see how the Live Pro 2 do. And this is the final test with the wind and the background noise. Is there a significant difference, a significant improvement when it comes to voice call quality? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, check this out. This is a big one, but a little change. The driver size remains the same with 11mm dynamic drivers. So big drivers in theory means big sound, the same as last year, but the difference here is the slight change to the shape of the tubes and the ear tips. So they've come up with this new oval tube design and oval tips as well. And what these should do is help to improve ANC and assist with the comfort when wearing them and potentially improve the audio quality as well. And I'm told that Harman have researched ear shapes and the shapes of people's ear canals, and that's how they've come up with this, and they must be proud of it because they've trademarked it. And some of the other new features that JBL have introduced this year is the multi-EQ setups within the app. There's now the option to have voice prompts inside the earbuds, whereas last year we just had tones. And there's also a new side tone feature which is known as voice aware within the app. So this is a feature that allows you to hear your own voice when you're on voice calls. And you might be wondering, why would you ever want to use this? Well, think of it like this. If you're on a conference call and your mic is picking up loads of background noise without you knowing, you can actually hear that background noise yourself and know, actually, maybe I should move to a quieter spot in the house. Also, you've probably seen some of my reviews where I've reviewed headphones and I've got them on and I'm talking to you guys, but I'm talking extra loud because I can't hear my own voice. Yeah, you can avoid that with this feature. So something else that's been upgraded this year is the Live Pro 2s now support AI hot words. If you set up the hot words for your AI, you can actually control playback, pause, fast forward, rewind, skip track, and even search things or ask questions to your AI without ever having to lift a finger. And that sounds good to me. And of course, the capacitive touch controls remain the same as last year, so they're still present there on the stems on both sides and can be customized within the app if you're old school like that. And the wear detect sensors are still present as well. So when you put them in your ears or take them out of your ears, they know if they're in or out, and therefore can be more efficient when it comes to battery life. But here's another significant upgrade. It is the IPX rating. So the Live Pro Plus from last year had an IPX4 rating, which is still really good, still water and dust resistant, but now it's been leveled up to IPX5 on the new JBL Live Pro 2. This means they can survive sand, dust, rain, sweat, and ultimately be more resistant to these kind of harsh environments or gym environments. And here's a couple of visual differences compared to last year's model. The case still has Qi wireless charging, just like before. How about that? But now the finish has been changed from a dark matte gray to a more sort of brushed chrome metallic look, and the stems on the buds now have a high gloss finish on the back, more of a reflective style compared to last year's matte finish. And we don't have the orange accent on the silicone ear tips anymore. They're just all black now. Anyway, here's why I love them. So when you get them out of the box for the first time and set them up, you're greeted with a Check My Fit feature, which uses the mics to measure the audio leakage from the earbuds outside your ears. And then it will prompt you to choose the best silicone ear tips specifically for your ear shape. And that helps you get it right from day one. This is then followed by an ear canal test, which measures the noise reaching your ear canals inside. And then the app then creates a custom ANC profile for you, tailored to your ear shape. Again, this really makes them feel like your own from day one. And then you get the AI setup, which, as I mentioned before, is fantastic, especially now with the hot words. And then you've got a tips and tricks page, which runs you through some things you need to know about on the app. So my first impressions when I use them is like, wow, this feels like a tailored experience straight away. And the app is very good in my opinion. It's really well done. It gives you the full control over almost everything from ambient aware levels. You can enable the talk through if you want to have a conversation with the earbuds on. And here's that other new feature, the voice aware that I mentioned earlier. You can actually adjust the amount of voice that you want to hear from your own mic coming back through inside the earbuds. And there's also power saving options inside the app as well, which will allow you to extend the battery life if you're stuck on a desert island or something like that. And I mentioned earlier on about the latency being improved. So previously it was 150 milliseconds, now it's 100 milliseconds. And within the app, you have a feature to adjust the latency. I'm assuming it does this by switching codecs. So for example, when you're gaming or watching movies, you can set it into the movie mode, and that will bring down that latency so you won't have any lip sync issues and stuff like that. But then if you want to prioritize for music sound quality, you have that option as well. And something that I noticed having used this for traveling is the true adaptive ANC is very good. So if you're outside, it can adjust to that level. If you're inside, it's quieter, it can adjust again. So it does this on the fly intelligently for you without you really having to think about it. So I did test these out fully on a plane. I've tested them out on a train, in a car, and on the street. It blocks out a lot of those normal rumbling ambient noises. And when you're playing music at the appropriate level, you can barely hear any of it, which is what you want from ANC headphones. And even when you're not listening to music, for example, I was on a plane and just wanted to have a little bit of a sleep because the plane was delayed for like 10 hours and I was flying back in the early hours of the morning, I could just put the earbuds in, no music playing, with ANC on, and trust me, you can get a good night's sleep with the ANC on these earbuds. But the star of the show within the software, in my opinion, is the EQ control. It's the perfect balance of complexity and simplicity. And I just like how you can take one of the existing presets, for example, the AKG signature curve, which is known as Studio within the EQ, you can take that and actually build upon it. And then you can save it as your own. And as I mentioned, that particular signature has taken 5 years and loads of research to fine tune and dial in. And what's really fantastic about these earbuds when it comes to sound quality, especially when you look at this curve, is JBL have actually turn down the bass levels on these earbuds. Because you've got those 11mm drivers, there's a lot of room for aggressive expansion when it comes to stuff like bass levels. So if you want to go into the EQ and turn the bass up to 11, you've got plenty of room to do that. And naturally, of course, that's what I did with my hip hop EQ. I turned the bass right up, and what really impressed me is the fact that even when you do that, the bass doesn't distort in any way. The earbuds can handle it perfectly. And what's even more impressive is the fact that when you do make a change like that, it actually doesn't ruin the mids and the high-end frequencies. The clarity still remains. And of course, I had to do my usual music genre headphone playlist test. And I can tell you, these earbuds are incredibly versatile. No matter what you're listening to, they do sound really good. And straight out of the box, they do feel like they're tuned for more younger styles of music. So sort of the pop genres, the indie genres, rock and EDM and this kind of stuff. But the reality is you can actually make these sound good for any genre because they give you that full control on the EQ. You can set up a multi-point EQ. Is crazy how many adjustments you can actually make. But in my opinion, just to sum it up on a very basic level, vocals are really clear and crisp. Instrumental details sound nuanced and very clear and present. The bass is insane if you do want to turn it up. And trust me, you won't be disappointed. And it's really hard to fault these actually when it comes to sound quality. And as you saw in the intro, they do pass the Cowboy Pocket Watch pocket test. So at the price point these come in at, they're really good sound investment in my opinion. There are 4 colors you can choose from, so you can choose the right hue for you. And if you're looking for a sports version of these, check out the Reflect Flow Pros. I made a video about those last year. And if you want the legendary JBL sound in a portable speaker, check out this video, the JBL Charge 5. It's a beast. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching this one. If you got any kind of value out of this at all, thumbs up and subscribe would go a long way and I would really appreciate it. And if you just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man. And I'll see you in the next one, so don't be late.